Too many toys.
So, hello to everyone that's joining us on the Facebook Live this week. A couple of little changes this week. Firstly, it was bank holiday yesterday, so we gave our kittens a little bit of time off. But we're actually joined today by a 4-month-old kitten, Avocato.
He is up in our homing wing and has actually been reserved already. He's going home on Friday. So he's been with us just a little short while. As you can see, he's very cute and loves to play. So one of the things as well that the cat care assistants and also volunteers will be able to do is just keep these guys entertained, as well as providing all their care and food and everything. Just making sure that they get enough appropriate play. So that's things like dangling strips of fabric, like you can see we're doing here, and giving them appropriate toys, like the little mouse he's got. And things like not using your fingers to play as well, because this is something that kittens can get quite used to, and when they get a bit bigger, their claws get bigger too, funnily enough. So it's really good for their natural hunting behaviours, to make sure that they've got chances to play. So exactly like we're doing here, just keeping them really stimulated, because these are sorts of things that cats would be doing as part of their natural behaviour and their hunting instincts. And Avocato has also been neutered, so he's had all his vaccinations, he's been neutered, and he's ready to go off to his forever home in just a couple of days. But it looks like he's having the time of his life already.
Have a tug of war in a minute.
It looks like he's got some strength.
Very strong.
Strong teeth.
It's a bit slippery, that bit.
He's just so lazy, but now they feed him speculation every day for 5. He gets 50 grams of food every day, like 25 in the morning, 25 in the afternoon. And they get it to the best crowd, so there's a lot of space to play around, but he's just so lazy. Honestly, it's my favorite.
So you sort of get the idea of the pens here as well in one of our centres. So it differs depending on the centre, but these guys have got a nice pen out the front where they've got their little forts that are called hide and sleeps. So they have got somewhere nice and high that they can get up off the floor, because cats like to have a nice perch to sit on, and also a little place that they can sort of go to hide and be away down the bottom as well. So giving them the option. As you can see, they've all got a few toys in there that they can play with and to keep themselves entertained. And then you'll see behind Avocato, he's got a little cat flap, and at the back of his pen, he'll have his food, water, litter tray, and he's also got some handy little shelves on the wall above the cat flap out the back, so that he can, again, jump up high, stretch his legs while he's in our care before he goes home. This guy is actually looking for a house with a garden as well. As you can see, he's quite energetic, so probably be using those claws to climb a few trees, I would imagine, in the not too distant future. But for anyone that's looking to get a cat, rehome a cat, you can go straight to our website, cats.org.uk, and you can pop your postcode in and find all the cats that are for rehoming near you. And then we suggest, I think, roughly about a 3-week period when you get your cat home for them to adjust to being in the house and before you would let them outside. So if you're getting an outdoor cat, it's really important to make sure that they feel really settled in the home first, and that they know that that's their forever home and that that's where they're going to get fed mainly. Make sure they come back. Oh, it's trying to escape.
Slip and slide there.
And that's nice, like a little head bob too.
It's purring as well. I don't know if you can hear that. Isn't that nice?
Probably can't pick that up on the microphone, but that's good. And it's really important with cats as well when you're stroking them and sort of interacting with them to start off slow and just get to know the areas, particularly with younger cats because they are so playful. So just getting to know where they like to be stroked and doing it really gently, as you can see Joe's doing here. So just making sure that you don't, go straight in for their belly, because they will do things like that occasionally. And not to sort of pull your hand away and be, if they are being playful, it is just that. They're being playful. They're not trying to lash out, but it's being, very calm with them and making sure that you're giving them their space as well. If you're stroking them and they decide to walk off, don't follow them. Just give them their space, and they'll come back and get ready to play and have some strokes when they want to. He's really enjoying that fabric. It's got lovely markings.
Beautiful colours. Amazing. No. Okay, no.
It's playful.
You're very excited. Yes. Great time.
One of the other things that people might be wondering, having watched our previous live streams, is obviously when we work with the younger kittens, we'll be wearing gloves and aprons, and it's to protect the kittens that haven't had their vaccinations yet from any kind of possible infection or just transmitting any kind of germs that might harm them, because they're very vulnerable when they're at such a young age. And the socialisation that we do occurs between weeks 2 and weeks 8 of the kittens being born, so they are really young. But with Avocato, he is 4.5 months, so he's had all his vaccinations, he's been neutered, he's a really healthy cat, and so we don't have to take quite the same precautions that we do with the younger kittens. But what we will ensure, particularly for volunteers that come in and spend time with more than one cat, they will be using alcohol-based gel on their hands, and just making sure that their hands are cleaned in between each cat, so that no other possible germs can be transmitted between cats when they're being petted and played with. I think you can play with that all day.
Can't quite get the energy to get up, but happily roll around. Taking it to bed. Where's it going? You're going to slide out of there in a minute.
So when you've got quite young cats, like kittens and things, pieces of fabric and things like this are really good toys to use. And you'll have seen, if you've seen some of the other live streams, with the younger kittens, we use things like straws, so you can use paper straws as well. As we said, to avoid using your fingers so that they don't get used to playing with your hands, because that'll carry through into their adult life. But B, to avoid using things like string and cotton and things like that, because if cats get too used to playing with things like this, they can actually ingest it, and it causes quite a lot of issues internally. So better off using things like strips of fabric such as this, so that they're bigger, they can't ingest things like this, and it's just a bit safer for them to play with. But certainly don't, especially with kittens, you don't need to spend a lot of money on toys, because they will literally play with anything.
It's always a good idea as well when playing with things, if you do play with them with things like fishing rod toys or strings, it's a good idea just to, when you're not playing with them, keep them out of reach, just in case they get them tangled around them and things like that. Good idea to
get themselves in a bit of a pickle.
Yes. Good idea to store them away until it's playtime. Oh. That was a full-on backflip.
And as you can see, kittens like Avocato, they do have a lot of energy. So it's really important that if you are looking to get a kitten over an older cat, that you do have the time and the patience to sort of spend with them and actually invest some time in playing with them, because although it might seem like something that you can do as and when you feel like, they do really need the stimulation daily. It's good to spend at least an hour a day really making sure that they can run and jump and play with the string and pounce on the mouse and whatever else it is that they sort of need to expend that energy, particularly at this young age when they're so energetic.
That was a very elegant pose.
Playing it cool now.
I was going to say we might have worn him out, but I don't think we have. Still lots of energy. Okay.
You can hear the cat in the pen next door, I think.
Someone's getting adventurous.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few comments building up on the live stream. Most people just absolutely in love with Avocato, I think, from what I can tell. But as always, after the live stream, we'll go through and answer any questions you have. So if anyone's watching this after we're live, just pop your question below, and we'll be able to either direct you to the relevant place on our website or answer your question for you. I don't want to say we've knackered them out because we definitely haven't. But we're going to wrap up our live stream here for today. And maybe let this guy have a snooze this afternoon. Now that he's had his lunch and a play, he probably. So thanks everyone for joining us as ever, and we'll hopefully be back next week with another Kittens Live at lunch.